Good morning, students. Welcome to Tele Education classes. So, first of all, I want to wish you a very happy puja. So, let's get started for our class today before we go for our vacations, right? Okay. So, let's see what we have for us. All right. So, let's look at sentence structure in active voice. ঠিক আছে, sentence structure in active voice. So you remember we have already done one class. So we have in that class we have seen in English we have voice. There are two types of voice, right? Active and passive, right? So and we have also learned how to frame sentences. In active voice, in passive voice, what is the sentence structure and everything. Okay, so let's take a quick recapitulation and then we will start. Okay, now so sentence structure in active voice. So what is the sentence structure? Sentence এর যে structure টুকরো টুকরো যে ভাগগুলো active voice এ কেমন থাকে? Okay, how is it in active voice? Let's see. So in active voice it is subject plus verb plus object. Okay, so the subject comes first, then the verb, and then the object, right? Ram is going to school. Okay, now same sentence in passive voice. Let's see how the structure changes. Here the structure changes to subject plus be verb plus past participle form of the verb plus either by or at or to plus the object. Okay, so these are the extra additions in case of active voice. These are all the extra additions in case of active voice. The verb is there, but we have to use the past participle form of the verb. Okay, so these are the extra additions in case of passive voice, right? Okay, now so active to passive in past indefinite tense. So in case of past indefinite tense, let's look at the changes from active to passive, right? Okay, so you see this is the sentence structure, okay, of the change transformation from active to passive. This is active, this is passive, right? Okay, let's see now. What is the boy doing? The boy seems walking in the rain, right, with an umbrella. So the sentence is I brought the umbrella. I brought the umbrella. So this was the active voice. This particular sentence was in active voice. Let's look at this once again. I brought the umbrella. Active voice. Passive voice কি হয়ে যাচ্ছে? What does the sentence become in passive? It becomes the umbrella was brought by me. So there is a complete interchange. একটা পুরো জিনিসটার interchange. I brought the umbrella হয়ে ঠিক আছে, তখন I brought the umbrella, I subject, brought the verb, umbrella হয়ে যাচ্ছে object. Passive voice এ the subject in passive voice becomes the object, the subject in active voice becomes the object in passive voice, and the object in active voice becomes the subject in passive voice. That is what you have to remember. ঠিক আছে, so I brought the umbrella was brought by me. Clear? Okay, now so before moving ahead, let's take up the first question of our class today. Let's see. So choose the correct passive voice form of the following sentence. So here is a sentence given to you in front of us. This is the sentence. She had her lunch. So what you have to do is, so you have to choose. তোমাকে সেন্টেন্সটা দেওয়া আছে, so you have to choose that which one out of the four options given to you is the correct passive voice for the given sentence. বুঝলে? I hope you understood the question. The question is, out of the four sentences options given to you, which one is the correct passive voice? এই চারটার মধ্যে কোনটা correct passive voice form for the given sentence? What is the given sentence? The given sentence is she had her lunch, right? Okay, so your time starts now. Think and give me your answers quickly, right? Okay, go ahead. চিন্তা করো, সবগুলো অপশন ভালো করে দেখো, and then give me your responses. She had her lunch. She had her lunch, right? Okay, all right, go ahead. So she had her lunch. What do you think is the correct answer? All right, okay, very good. So option B, right? Option B is the correct option or the correct passive voice form of the given sentence. She had her lunch. Her lunch was had by her. Clear? Okay, very good. Now, let's move ahead and let's see what do we have next for us. What are they doing? They're listening to a story, right? And Aunt Madeline told us a story. Okay, so the sentence is Aunt Madeline told us a story. So Aunt Madeline told us a story. So this is in active. What will be the passive? Aunt Madeline do the interchange. Interchangeটা করো এদিক থেকে এদিকে আর এদিক থেকে এদিকে, right? Okay, so do the interchange. Aunt Madeline told us a story. A story? Yes, very good. A story was told to us by Aunt Madeline, or we were told a story by Aunt Madeline. Both correct, okay? A story was told to us by Aunt Madeline, but we were told a story by Aunt Madeline. Both the sentences are correct. Clear? Okay. Now, as I told you, a story was told to us by Aunt Madeline. So both ways the sentences are correct, right? Okay. Now, moving ahead, let's take up this particular question. Let's see what we have. How many objects are there in the following sentence? So you have a sentence in front of you. This is the sentence for you, okay? So, in this particular sentence, what you have to do is you have to find out how many objects are there. What is the sentence? Let's see. The sentence is the teacher taught us to play piano. The teacher taught us to play piano. এটা সেন্টেন্স দেওয়া আছে, এখন বের করতে হবে এই সেন্টেন্সের মধ্যে অবজেক্ট কয়টা আছে, how many objects are there in this particular sentence. The teacher taught us to play piano. Clear? Is that clear? So you have 4 options in front of you and you have to tell me which option is the correct option. So how many objects are there in the sentence? Is that okay? Okay, chalo. So your time starts now. Give me your responses quickly. How many objects are there in the following sentence? Okay. The sentence is the teacher taught us to play piano. The teacher taught us to play piano. Okay. So go ahead, tell me. Which option do you think is the correct option? All right. Okay. So the correct option is very good. Correct option is option B. It's only one object, right? The teacher is the subject, taught verb, asked to play piano. To play piano, this portion we can call the object, right? So there is only one object in the sentence, right? Now, so let's move ahead and now, so we have seen how to change from active to passive in past indefinite tense. Now let's look at past continuous tense, right? Okay, so this is the sentence structure for changing for transformation from active to passive in case of past continuous tense. Let's look at it. So subject plus was or were plus verb plus ing plus object. Ing will definitely be there since it's continuous, right? So ing plus object. And look at this particular, and so this is the structure in case of active, okay? And this is the structure in case of passive, right? So how will you do it? How will you change it? So let's see. So while changing, what happens? I told you already in our last class. So when there is an ing in the active voice, it becomes being in the passive voice. That you have to remember, okay? So ing in active, being in passive, right? Okay. Now let's look at examples that will make us things more clear. Okay. So we were asking multiple questions in the class. Okay, so we were asking multiple questions in the class, right? Okay, so this is an active voice, make it passive. We were asking multiple questions in the class. Multiple questions were being asked by us in the class. Okay, so we were asking multiple questions in the class. Multiple questions were being, since ing is there, so it gets changed into being. Multiple questions were being asked by us in the class. Is that clear? Okay. Now, so let's take up the third question of our class today. Let's see what do we have. Okay. So which tense follows the sentence, follows the following structure in passive voice? Okay. So which particular tense follows the following structure in passive voice? Look at this. This is the structure given to you. So you have to tell me which particular tense, when in passive voice, follows this sentence structure. বুঝলে কি বলেছে এই যে সেন্টেন্স স্ট্রাকচার দেওয়া আছে একটা তো বলতে হবে যে কোন টেন্সের সময় প্যাসিভ ভয়েস এই সেন্টেন্স স্ট্রাকচারটাকে ফলো করে is that clear okay so you have four options in front of you a present continuous d future continuous c past continuous or d past perfect right okay so go ahead so your time starts now give me your responses quickly which passive voice follows the this sentence structure okay so which passive voice follows this sentence structure in which tense right okay go ahead so subject plus was or were plus being plus v3 form of the verb plus by at or to or plus object so we have being so this makes it very good so this is continuous so being we have that means ing that means continuous and which tense present past or future it is past why because it is was or were right okay very good now let's see what do we have what is the boy doing he is watering the plants right okay so I was watering the plants I was watering the plants this is an active voice right okay so the passive voice becomes the plants were being watered by me the plants were being watered by me so being changes to so sorry ing changes to being okay so the plants were being watered by me right is that clear okay now let's move ahead and let's see what do we have next so we have done past indefinite we have done past continuous now let's look at past perfect okay now this is again the sentence structure in case of past perfect tense okay so let's move ahead and let's see okay before looking at the examples let's take up this particular question I was taken for granted which among the following is the object of the above sentence so you have a sentence here this is the sentence I was taken for granted so out of the four options given here this four options given here you have to select which particular option is the object of this sentence বোঝা গেল is that clear বলছে কি একটা সেন্টেন্স দেওয়া আছে এটা হচ্ছে তো তোমাদের সেন্টেন্স এই সেন্টেন্সের অবজেক্ট কোনটা নিচে চারটা অপশন দেওয়া আছে চারটা অপশনের মধ্যে এই সেন্টেন্সের অবজেক্ট কোনটা সেটা তোমাকে বলতে হবে clear is the question clear I hope okay so your time starts now give me your response so out of the four options given to you which one is the object or does the sentence have no object okay so a I b was c granted d no object so is there an object or is there no object at all okay so that you have to tell me now so I was taken for granted what is it go ahead okay so the correct option is yes very good so there is no object in this sentence I was taken for granted okay so if there was like if the sentence was like I was taken for granted by Rahim so then there would have been an object but since the sentence ended like this I was taken for granted so there is no object in the sentence right okay so do you want to look at the question once again so there is no object in the sentence right okay so we are moving forward and let's see what do we have so now we will look at active to changes from active to passive in future tense the last class we have done the changes from active to passive in case of present today we have started with active to changes from active to passive in case of all the past tenses past indefinite past continuous past perfect and now we will look at future tense okay changes from active to passive in case of future tense okay let's look at it so this is the sentence structure this one is for the active subject plus will or shall plus the verb form plus object and in case of passive this is it okay subject plus will or shall plus be plus v3 form the participle form plus by or to and the object okay so these are the two forms active and passive okay now let's look at some examples again what do you see here what is the boy doing again he is walking in the rain with an umbrella so what is the sentence here I shall take the umbrella to his place I shall take the umbrella to his place. So this we can understand that this is I shall, mean I will be doing this in future. So I shall take the umbrella to his place. So the passive voice, what will be the passive voice? Okay, we will come to know the passive voice just after this particular question. Okay, so I have baked a cake for you. In which tense is the verb baked in this sentence? Okay, so I have baked a cake for you. There is a sentence given to you. I have baked a cake for you. So what you have to do is you have to tell me in which particular tense is the verb bake in. Okay, baked যে verb টা আছে এটা কোন tense এ আছে? You have four options, right? A V3, B V1, C V2 or D V4. Clear? Okay. So your time starts now. Give me your response. I have baked a cake for you. The verb bake is in which tense? কোন tense এ আছে? Okay. Now, go ahead. I have baked a cake for you. Look at the sentence carefully and then tell me the tense form of the verb. Right? Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and tell me. All right, so the correct response is, of course, option A, V3. Right, okay. So we were saying that I shall take the umbrella to his place will get changed in passive voice to the umbrella will be taken by me to his place. The umbrella will be taken by me to his place. Clear? Okay. So this is how this functions. Now let's look at this particular sentence. He will help me. He will help me. So how will you change this? I will be helped by him. So today we have learnt about how to change from active to passive in case of past tense, in all the forms of past tense, and also in case of future tense as well. Right, okay. Now what we will do is, before moving forward with the next segment of our class, we will take a quick recapitulation for our first class, okay, where we learned how to change from active to passive in case of what? In case of present tense, right? Okay, so let's take a quick recall. So we have seen in our last class that the students were talking and they were thinking that the teacher is talking in a very different manner. Okay, so they were wondering why is the teacher talking in a different manner, right? Okay, so then we have looked at these sentences. Let's look at the sentences, the examples that we did in our last class, right? Okay, so let's look at the sentences. So we came to know that these were all sentences in a different structure. Why? Because they were in passive voice. Now let's look at the dialogue between the two birds. I eat 2 worms for breakfast. Okay, so this is active. Passive becomes, what does the passive become? Passive becomes 2 worms are eaten by me for breakfast. Okay, so this is how it goes. Okay, so these are different tense structures in English. So the meaning remains same. We all know this. In the change from active to passive is just in the sentence structure. There is no change in the meaning of the sentence. Meaning টা কখনো বদলায় না, শুধু সেন্টেন্সের স্ট্রাকচারটা চেঞ্জ হয়, তাই তো? Okay, so then we have looked at different examples like active voice and passive voice. As I told you, 2 types of voice at the beginning of our class only, right? Okay, so 2 types of voice, active and passive. Then what we will do is, let's look at more sentences. So I eat 2 worms for breakfast. This is the subject, this is the verb, okay, and this is the object, and that part for breakfast can be called to be complementary closure. Okay, so and then when this is the active, so when it becomes passive, you see the sentence structure entirely changes, right? Okay, so this is how it goes. So we see the sentence structure changes completely, right? Okay. Now we will look at some examples of sentences from where sentences from changes in the present tense, right? Okay, so before that, let's look at change of pronouns from active to passive. Okay, subject you have In case of subject, you have I, object me. So these are the changes of pronouns from active to passive. This we have already seen and done, right? Now let's look at the different sentences that we will have. The earth revolves around the sun. This is present tense, present indefinite tense. This gets changed to the sun is revolved around by the earth in case of passive voice, right? Okay, similarly, I like tea changes to, in passive voice changes to what? Tea is liked by me, right? So I like tea changes to tea is liked by me. Let's see. I like tea changes to tea is liked by me. So this is how we did present tense the last class, right? Okay, so that was present indefinite. Now let's look at present continuous. Okay, so present continuous, this is the form for active and passive. Let's look at sentence examples. We are cooking pulao together. So the passive becomes pulao is being, because we are cooking, ing. So pulao is being cooked by us together. Okay, so pulao is being cooked by us together. My grandfather is helping me. Okay, my grandfather is helping me, again ing. So I am being helped by my grandfather. I am being helped by my grandfather, right? So this is how it goes. Okay, now again, so let's look at, so we have done revising present indefinite, present continuous. Now let's look at present perfect tense. Okay, so this is the sentence structure in case of present perfect tense as well, right? Okay, so we'll move and look at more examples. I have completed my task. I have completed my task. So it changes to my task has been completed by me. So I have completed my task. The have changes to has or have been. Okay, so my task has been completed by me. I have cleaned my room today. I have cleaned my room today. So what will be the change in passive voice? I have cleaned my room today. The passive voice change will be the I have cleaned my room today. The room or my room has been cleaned by me today. Clear? Okay. So now let's look at present perfect continuous. So as it goes, let's see. This is the sentence structure. Okay. Let's look at examples. Examples help us to remember things better, right? Okay. Now, my sir has been managing all the files for last 3 years. My sir has been managing all the files for last 3 years. So this is perfect continuous. That's why you have ing and also you have has have. Perfect continuous, right? Okay, so let's change it. It becomes all the files have been being managed by my for last 3 years. So all the files have been being managed by my sir for the last 3 years. Right, then I have been taking care of my mother's plants for last 1 week. I have been taking care of my mother's plants for last 1 week. Now it changes to my mother's plants have been being taken care of by me for last 1 week. So have been being. Okay, so that is the thing that you need to remember with regard to present perfect continuous tense, right? Okay, so then we can take a quick summary of our last class and then we will again revise what we have studied in today's class. Okay, so while changing from active to passive, the meaning always remains same, very important. Okay, the changing from active to passive, the verb is in its past participle or V3 form. From active to passive, the subject becomes object, right? And the from active to passive, the object becomes subject. I told you earlier. Okay, while changing from active to passive, we should carefully mind the tense. That we have to remember. Now that we have revised our last class properly, now we will again take a quick revise revise for our today's class. Okay, the sentence structures that we learned today. So this was past tense, right? So this was change from active to passive in past tense, the different forms of past tense. So let's start with again past indefinite. So past indefinite, this is the sentence structure, right? Okay, so we looked at sentences like this. I brought the umbrella. So I brought the umbrella in past indefinite tense. active voice changes in, and passive voice changes to the umbrella was brought by me, right? Okay, then we have already solved this question, so we are not going into this anymore. Then we had another example. What was it? Aunt Madeline told us a story. So Aunt Madeline told us a story. So this changes to we were told a story by Aunt Madeline, or what was the other one? Then we were told by a story by Aunt Madeline. What was the other one? Yes, a story was told to us by Aunt Madeline, right? Okay, then we looked at from past indefinite, then we shifted to what? We shifted to past continuous, right? Okay, so past continuous, this is the sentence structure of the past continuous tense, and here are the examples. Let's take a quick look at the examples once again. We were asking multiple questions in the class. So multiple questions were being asked by us in the class, right? Okay, and we also had, let's look at this. We have already solved this question, so we are not looking into this. We are looking into this example now. So I was watering the plants, again past continuous. I was watering the plants. The plants were being watered by me. The plants were being watered by me, right? Okay, then change in tense from active to passive in case of past perfect tense. Okay, so how does it change? Look at this. Let's look at the examples. It changes. How to change in case of past active to passive voice in case of future tense, right? Okay, again let's look at this. It will change. This is the sentence structure. It will change from this. What was the sentence? The sentence was, I shall take the umbrella to his place. This changes. This is in future tense, right? So I shall take the umbrella to his place. This future tense sentence in active voice changes to, let's see what, in case of passive voice it changes to, the umbrella will be taken by me to his place. The umbrella will be taken by me to his place, right? Okay, then we have this example once again. He will help me. Okay, so this will be changed to I will be helped by him. I will be helped by him, right? Okay, so this is, so we have done and looked at different examples today, and also our examples from previous class of change of voice from active to passive in case of all tenses, both present, past and future, right? We have looked at different examples, have tried to solve them, we have looked at the sentence structures, right? Okay, so we will move forward and we will take up this particular question, which is our model value based question for the day, right? So this is our model value based question for the day. Let's look at it. What is it? তোমার মতে বিদ্যালয়ের চাহিদা পরিষ্কার পরিচ্ছন্ন করার দায়িত্ব কার? Means that according to you, whose responsibility is it to keep the premises of the school clean, right? Whose responsibility is it, right? So the first option is the teachers and the other staffs of the school. The second option is the people who are given the responsibility of cleaning, the service staffs of the school. The third option is the students of this school, and the fourth one is all of the above. Okay, A, B, C and D, right? Okay, so your time starts now. You give me your responses. First you tell me, what do you think is the correct approach to this? According to you, who is responsible for keeping the school premises clean? Who is responsible for that? And look at the options. I've told you the options. So once you get the answer correct, whatever is your response to this, you then I can respond to mine. Okay, chalo, go ahead. Okay, tell me, go ahead. Okay, so what do you think? Yes, very good. So I think option D is the correct option. Means all of the above. Both option A, B and C, all of them means all the teachers of the school, okay? Then all the service staffs of the school who are given the responsibility of cleaning the school premises, and three, the students of the school. All the people are responsible for keeping the school premises green and clean, right? Okay. So having said that, we have almost come to the last segment of our class here today, right? And before we move forward to our feedback section, let's look at the sentence structures once again. Let's look at the sentence structures once again. This is the original structure of sentence, okay, in case of active and in case of passive, and when we have the tenses changing, so according to the tense, the structures change, keep changing a bit, okay. So this is in case of past indefinite tense. So indefinite tense, active, we will see only V2 form and object, but in case of passive voice, it comes was, were, and the form changes from V2 to V3, right? Okay, so according to this, we have also looked at different examples, like I brought the umbrella, and this changes to the umbrella was brought by me, right? So this is how the sentence structures keep changing as per the tenses. Okay, now Aunt Madeline told us a story, right? Aunt Madeline told us a story. So we were told a story by Aunt Madeline. Now, and this can also be changed to a story was told to us by Aunt Madeline. So these are the different sentence structures, as you can see, that we use in case of past indefinite. We have seen this is past continuous. Let's see. So past continuous, you have to remember ing in case of any tense, যে কোনো টেন্সের ক্ষেত্রে whenever in continuous you have ing, it changes to being, okay. This is a golden rule that you need to remember. The ing changes to being, right? Okay, then we have, look at this, we have this example of continuous, past continuous, right? So I was watering the plants, so it changes to the plants were being watered by me. Remember this, right? Okay, now, so past perfect tense, now had been, we had, which changes then. So in case of past perfect, so there is had in case of active voice, had plus V3. In passive, it becomes had plus been plus V3. So these are certain things that you have to remember clearly, right? Okay, with the in case of the sentence structure. Now go ahead and let's see. So in case of future tense, what does happen? In case of future tense, we have the shift in the verb from, this is only will and shall plus V form. Here it becomes will, shall plus be plus V3 form. Plus we also have alternates for by or to. So these are the changes in the sentence structure we have to remember. So if you remember the changes in the sentence structure as per the tense, then you can easily remember the different examples in the sentences, right? Okay, so now look at these examples once again. I shall take the umbrella to his place, which changes to the umbrella will be taken by me to his place, right? Okay, so these are the changes that you see. He will help me. This is the sentence, I will be helped by him, right? Okay, now, so we have already looked at this particular sentence, and with this we have come to the end of our class here today. This is the feedback question. Through this question, you can let me know your responses for the class today, right? So your time starts. So while you are giving your responses, I would like to revise once again whatever we have done regarding voice in our past two classes. So we have seen that voice, two types, active and passive. So then we have seen, looked at examples and sentence structure of the change of voice from active to passive in case of all the different tenses, all the three tenses, present, past and future. Last class we did present tense, present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, then present perfect continuous. Then we have looked at examples for the same. Then in today's class, we had looked at past tense and the changes from active to passive voice in the past tense, the sentence structure and examples, right? Past tense in case of past indefinite, past perfect, past continuous, and then future tense, right? So I hope that in the past two classes, whatever we have learned, whatever examples we solved, practice, this will help you to get your voice exercises correct from the next time. So you won't lose any marks in voice. So that's my wish to you. Okay. So having said this, I conclude my class here today. We will meet again very soon in our next class. Till then, keep reading and keep learning and enjoy your vacations. Thank you so much.